Hello, this is Chris Davison and I want to give you a brief overview of Exploding Fish 2. And the first thing I want to do is show you how a trade looks. So I'm running this in backtest mode and we've got some consolidation forming here. I'll just press the play button. And what will happen is it will continue to trade until there's a breakout of this consolidation zone, and then 4 trades will open, spaced strategically at different distances apart. And as the trade progresses, a move to break even will occur to lock in to make sure there's no loss. And as the trades are taken out, a trailing stop kicks in, and there's a trade open, as you can see. If I just pause it there a second. So we have 4 trades open. The first one being, I think it's about 70 pips away, I can't remember maybe it's slightly less. There's an algorithm which works it out, and progressively getting further apart. The idea being, if we do get a big move, we can lock in some big profits. At the moment, the stop loss is up here, back in the breakout zone. The idea being that for price to go back in past this support area, which will now become resistance, it's got to be fairly sure it wants to do it. So if I carry on watching this, what you'll see is, as the trade progresses, a move to break even. That's a good example actually of price going back into the box and then being rejected. And in fact, if we were to just put a line in there, you kind of see where support has become resistance, and that's fairly common with certainly with the euro and indeed with other currency pairs. So if we just watch what occurs as a trade continues. We now have a move to break even, so all of these, the very worst that will happen is we lose nothing on this trade. If we can get to the first target, then clearly we've lost some. The other thing to notice is that with Exploding Fish 2, there is a time-based stop, in so much as after a period of time, counted down here, all the trades will close. And again, that's based on extensive backtesting to say that's the optimal figure in terms of locking in some profits. So we've already locked in a move to break even. If we can get to this first trade, we'll clearly lock in some profits there, and as this timer counts down, we will close out, if we get that far, however many pips we've now managed to lock in. So there's the first trade that's been won. If we look at a graph here, you'll see that we've locked in that many trades, and the equity curve, because we've got another 3 trades open, is up here. And if we look at the results, you can see where the 4 sell trades were open and the modifications have taken place, and in this example we locked in $138. Now you can see the trading stop kicking in here to lock in some further profits now, and the countdown timer continues to count down to when the fish will explode. So bear in mind we currently have 3 trades open. The countdown timer's working out. I think we should close out this one. Yep, so we've now got 2 trades open, 2 are now closed. The countdown timer's counting down. So let's see what happens as the countdown timer approaches timeout. And there we are. The other 2 trades have exploded. If we just pause it there, if we look at the graph, we've now got all 4 trades have closed successfully, as you can see down here, and the system would then carry on looking for other trades. Clearly, if back here we'd seen reverse into box, we would have closed 4 trades out as fairly short losers. And that's really the idea behind the system, is if we have a breakout and it reverses back into back past the resistance area, then the trade's not going to work, so we close it off quickly. But if going forward what we see is this was a breakout, there's a great example of support becoming resistance there. We're working on the fact that our profits will come from letting the system run. So now let's show you what happens if I stop that test, and I'll put this back to the start of the year, and I'm going to run this through from January the 1st 2001 to the end. Let's do it until today. So I'm filming this on the 9th of November. Let's see what would happen in terms of how much we're risking for Exploding Fish 2. So we're risking 0.5% per trade. We are not trading in August. We're not closing out on a Friday evening, but you can close out on a Friday evening if you wish to. I know some people don't like carrying trades over a weekend. I've set the max spread as 2. The max lot size is 50 because that's the maximum my broker will support. The spread here is 1.7 in the test that we're going to do, and the I think the starting it's not there, but the starting balance on this test is $10,000. Remember, this is a back test, so let's see what happens. And what you'll see as the graph goes forward is clearly winners will make the balance go up. And if you remember, the example we looked at here happened quite early on, so quite quickly you'll see the graph go up. In fact, that's it there, I think. And then you get a series of losers. Now, if you look at this, you can see that the losers, there are more losers than there are winners, but the winners are much greater than the losers. And this gives you this sort of zigzag, up quite steeply, along, down, up, 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 up. The whole of this system is designed to run over a period of time. There will be periods when you get drawdown. I happen to know that in the 11 years of backtesting, the longest consecutive run of losing trades is 67. But because we're risking 0.5% per trade, that's sort of less than, well, it's 40% drawdown, which is not enjoyable and not a good thing, but it is a necessary evil. And as you can see here, if I just stretch this up, what we've got here is the equity curve going up. The lot sizes are getting bigger because if you remember, whereas down here we had a $10,000 account and we were trading 0.4 lots, as we go forward and the equity goes up, the lot size goes up. And here you can see a particularly nasty drawback. And this is actually, I think this is, if this is May 2006, if I can catch this thing. Yes, it is. That's the period when we had the 67 consecutive losers. Incidentally, had you started out on that, you would have fairly quickly recovered, but you might have been put off by the fact you had that many losers, which is why it's really important to understand the nature of the system. So I'm going to let this run now until it's finished, and then we'll see what happens. And there we have it, finished. So if we look at the stats, we'll go back to the graph. If we look at the stats here, we see in terms of total profitable trades was about 27%. However, which is, so just over a quarter of the trades were profitable. But if we look at this, the average profitable trade was significantly higher than the average losing trade. These figures are very high because the numbers are skewed towards the end when the lot size was a lot bigger. And here we see the maximum number of losers. In this example, it's counted 48. Sometimes it counts move to break evens as losses or wins, depending on which side. A 0.01 loss is a loss and a 0.01 win is a win. So, but clearly there are significant numbers of losers. We started with a back testing account size of 10,000. We end one with 9.5 million. Clearly I don't expect to see exactly the same performance going forward, but it is encouraging. And don't worry too much about you've got to wait a long time. This is an 11-year test. If we go down here, we've still got in this example a balance of 46,000 from an initial starting of 10, and likewise at any of these points you can see there is growth. It's just clearly as the lot sizes grow, any gains get compounded. So I'll leave you looking at the stats. Exploding Fish 2 is, I think, the best system I've written, he says modestly, which is why I'm going to let it run in a live account with real money starting from trade 1, so you can see how it gets on. Clearly I have no idea how it's going to perform going forward, but based on 11 years of backtesting results, I'm feeling pretty confident that it at least has a chance of making me some money, which is why I'm doing this test. And you can follow the test of Exploding Fish 2 at thefxtest.com. I'll put that up at the end, thefxtest.com, where you can see the results of the live trading. So thank you for listening, and that's been Exploding Fish 2.